Hello and welcome to this special edition of the Back Nine Report with our co-host and good friend Carlos Torres. Carlos, we have a very hot topic to discuss tonight, as it is rumored that the number 3 player in the world, Jon Rahm, is set to defect to the LIV Tour. Welcome back to Back Nine Report, Carlos.
Thank you, Fred, and it's always a pleasure to be here with you, and happy Thanksgiving to you and great holidays coming up. So excited about this topic that we're going to be talking about, because this is one of my favorite players, and oh my goodness, it's shaping up to be a hot topic, Fred.
Yeah, we've been covering the story for a couple of years, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We thought when Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson and Patrick Reed and Bryson DeChambeau and Cam Smith came later on the LIV, we thought those were all big, but this is a blockbuster deal right here. So just to set this up a little bit, Carlos, Jon Rahm was reportedly offered $300 million last year to defect to the LIV, but wanted closer to $600 million in guaranteed money. He has also reportedly demanded format changes to the LIV Tour. LIV events, as you know, only play 54 holes with no cut and small 48-man fields. Carlos Ortiz recently left Sergio Garcia's Fireballs team on the LIV Tour, and Rahm is expected to replace Ortiz on that team. A telltale sign that Rahm may be leaving the PGA Tour. He recently turned down a chance to play in Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy's new indoor TGL Golf League. Rahm won 4 events in 2023, including the Masters. It was his second major championship title, as he also won the 2021 U.S. Open at Torrey Pines. Since Rahm turned professional in 2016 and became a full PGA Tour member the following year, he has earned over $66 million in prize money, but that number is dwarfed by the millions he's earned from his sponsors. He's repeatedly laughed off reports when asked about defecting to the LIV and commented, "We all had the chance to go to the LIV and take the money, and we chose to stay on the PGA Tour for whatever reasons we choose. I already make an amazing living doing what I do. I'm extremely thankful, and that all happened because of the platform of the PGA Tour. I just stayed because I think it's the best choice for myself and the golf I want to play." He continues to, all summer long, I mean, as recent as August, he says, "I'm staying on the PGA Tour." So another little telltale sign too, maybe, I don't know, but when it was announced that Rory McIlroy would resign from the PGA Tour policy board, someone asked Rahm if he would consider taking his place. He was somewhat less than enthusiastic. "Oh, you won't see me there. Absolutely no chance. I've been asked a couple of times if I had any interest, but I'm not going to spend, I don't know how many meetings they have, but they're 6-7 hours long. I'm not here for that." One of the things, Carlos, that kind of, I'm sure, keeps bending his ear, Phil Mickelson has been saying for weeks that Rahm joining the LIV was a done deal. Phil has known Rahm since he played for Arizona State, coached by Phil's brother, Tim, who is now both Rahm's and Phil's manager. So I'm sure they've been working on it. So, Carlos, put this in perspective for us. Give us something, give us some background, give us some idea. What does this mean for the PGA Tour, for LIV, for world ranking points, for Jon Rahm? What do you think?
So Jon Rahm, definitely, I agree. I mean, you mentioned all the different points. He snubbed Tiger and Rory about the TGL competition that had been scheduled to commence in January 24, so he's not going to be part of that. And now we read on Wednesday morning that the popular golf social media account Flushing It claimed that he was already at an advanced stage in discussions to defect to LIV, which it would be a move that definitely would send shockwaves through the professional game and demonstrate that really there's a clear statement of intent from the PIF, the Public Investment Fund League, Golf League, that, hey, they are really going to stay here. And they're looking, the thing is that they're saying that Jon Rahm is not only in late stages, but it is believed that the holdup is not financial. So even though it is reported to be the $600 million, which is mind-boggling to have so much assured money, is really due to him wishing to modify the format of the league. If you come to think about it, the big blow that the LIV got from the official World Golf rankings was, sorry, your format just doesn't comply with what we assert to be to give you points. So at that point, you would say, okay, there's no way. I mean, what is LIV going to do to attract people? Well, it takes a big star to do that. And now, even though any changes have to be on LIV, have to be approval of all team captains, as well as the league themselves, this is what is making that the negotiation difficult. But really, if you come to think about it, it has to be about the official world golf ranking points, because that is really what Jon Rahm would be willing to. He wouldn't be willing to part with. He's all about the majors, and even though for the next 4 years he's going to be, exempt of all 4 majors, but for him, ranking is very important. He's number 3 right now in the world, and we all know that he was former number 1. He wants to keep searching for that, and if he's able to do that, and Phil Mickelson has also been saying there's some other big names waiting, and I think these other names are waiting to see really if those world ranking points are going to be done. If that happens, then we can expect some other big names, which we have already talked about. I now would start to say, yes, definitely that would send shockwaves and start making all these changes for the LIV possible and really making it live. If they do those changes, which is what comes to the core of it, they said no 54. We're not going to play that many tournaments. There's not going to be a cut. That was the attractiveness for all these players that are there, but considering what are they going to do? Because if not, there's no incentive for anybody else to come here. So it's really interesting what's going to happen. I really would like to see, and all the major signs are there. Sergio Garcia, Eugenio Chacarra, and David Puig, all waiting for Jon Rahm. Now Carlos Ortiz is not part of that. It would be an all Spanish team. It is just making sense all over. I really think this is going to be a done deal. And if the LIV definitely does that, the PGA Tour really have to do something with that framework, because otherwise, then things are going to be starting to be trickling down to the LIV.
Carlos, Brooks Koepka and a couple of guys were reportedly, Dustin Johnson reportedly received $125 million to join the LIV 2 years ago. Now they bring a guy in for $600 million. What do you think if you're Dustin Johnson or those guys that got their Brooks Koepka, those guys that got the money early, it was somewhat less than $600 million?
I just think there has to be something that is going to be done for them, at least for the higher ranking ones, because DJ has not been, of course, they're not playing the same level of competition right now. It has to be maybe some incentives coming up in the future, because LIV is going to be offering this other big names that are going to come. They're going to be offering more than what Brooks and Dustin and everybody got. I just don't think they're going to be left in the dust. There has to be something that they are, and maybe that is also something that is making these negotiations to be a little difficult, because even though the format is important, you have to think that all these other captains are like, hey, you're offering all this $1 million to him. How about us? Okay, we're willing to part with the format, but you're going to have to reward us somehow.
Carlos, we had during the Ryder Cup, we had Patrick Cantlay kind of being reticent and wanting to be paid and putting on a little hatless demonstration and all that kind of thing. And also Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele, who are very close, have opted out of Tiger's Hero World Challenge next week. It appears to me that Xander and Patrick might be next on the hit list for the LIV. What do you think about that?
I totally agree. I think those are the two players that have been always rumored to go there. And but I think them also, like Jon Rahm, maybe they're more interesting in money than legacy, because that's what Jon Rahm has says. for him, more interested in legacy than money. But I think that these two also would like money, but also would like to, hey, I want to make sure that I can play in the majors. I want to be playing in the big tournaments and earn my money as well. So definitely, I think I agree with you. Those are the next two, and who knows who else is going to come after that. I mean, Phil Mickelson keeps saying, hey, we have 4 or 5 more coming. So who would they be other than Jon Rahm, Sander, and Patrick? Wow, I don't know, but it sounds like this could be a very big blow. If those players leave the PGA Tour, then definitely there's going to be some consequences big time. And there may be something to it to why Rory McIlroy also, he quit or at least took himself out of the pack there.
You made a point to me earlier today about the votes on the policy board and the negotiations that are ongoing with PIF. That maybe Rory was a negative vote and he needed to get off because he was getting too much pressure.
Could be. I mean, if he has been part, and I believe that he's just tired of all this. He have said it that he doesn't want to play this politics game, and this is all about politics right now. It's what it's turned into. About not only that, but Liberty Media, who owns F1, is known to have interest in a potential partnership with the PGA Tour. Also, we heard about Endeavor, and they said no, that the PGA Tour had turned down its offer of investment. So I think that battle that Rory had as becoming the face of that battle against LIV, definitely he was not going to go for that. And now that maybe Jon Rahm and some others are signaling to go to LIV, there has to be that compromise. And I don't think Rory was going to be part of that compromise. After all that he has said, then it would be a lot of backlash against him. Now you're selling your vote and all this stuff, So I think that vote definitely was not going to be, and he just took off and said, hey, I'm going to keep my principles on.
So the LIV received a major blow when they didn't receive OWGR ranking points. The negotiations seem to have been stalled between the PIF, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, and the PGA Tour. So if you want to make a big splash and maybe turn the screw up a little bit on the PGA Tour, you steal another 1 or 2 or 3 of their big names for big money, which the money is really inconsequential at this point because we're talking billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of deal here. So maybe this turns a screw up a little bit on the PGA Tour to, okay, let's sign on the dotted line. Let's get this done. Does that make sense?
It does. It definitely does. And that is the only way really that the LIV is going to be able to put some leverage back into the agreement. Because right now it was all leverage is on the PGA Tour. There's not going to be any more litigation because as part of what they agreed already was like, hey, there's not going to be any litigation. This cannot be refiled. So that is gone. There's nothing that LIV has now on the PGA Tour other than, hey, let's just change the format and bring in some of your top players here. What are you going to do? They're putting it back. Once that happens, if it does, that December 31st deadline is going to come quicker than expected because definitely, I mean, come to think about it, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are the main figures behind the tech-infused TGL concept, which launches in January. And it's a way to try to alleviate a little bit of those bonuses that the LIV is giving to the players with the team concept. There's going to be that qualification event and all that stuff that is in Abu Dhabi December 8th. But at the same time, it really doesn't sound like it's taking that off. It's like people hasn't taken into it as they thought it would be. So whether or not the LIV retains a connection with venues also by Donald Trump, which is important to see because he's one of the ones that have been saying, hey, you can come play here. And other advantages that they could come to have in the coming days. Wow, that definitely is going to shape up what this framework is going to be, and definitely shifting towards LIV again.
Well, obviously, there are still questions remaining about Rahm's imminent departure to the LIV, but one thing is for sure, this would leave a very big hole in the PGA Tour. with Brooks, Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Cam Smith, Patrick Reed, already on the LIV payroll. They are a very big thorn in the side of the PGA Tour. And Carlos, this story isn't going to go away anytime soon. We're going to continue to talk about this, and it's great to have you in to talk about it tonight.
Thank you so much, and definitely looking forward to see what's going to happen. I mean, we already know Jon is not going to play in Tiger Woods tournament, which is another big blow there. I mean, Tiger is his idol, so not playing there is a big sign, I think, that he's not going to be part of the PGA Tour coming. So definitely we'll keep an eye on it, and great to talk to you, and happy to come back and do it again.
We will we'll have more of this continuing story down the road, and Golfaholics, you can look forward to it. Thanks a lot and good night.